Hey guys, today I want to share some work in progress on my RE100 Efreet Custom. So just a reminder to those of you who may not remember, I'm doing this as a part of a build-off with some friends of mine, some other YouTubers here. I've got Justin at Justinius Builds, Simon at Gundam UK, Jabman025, got Strider Prime, and Ed over at 00 Gundam Reviews V2. We're all building this kit and we're going to be sharing our work in progress and our final products with you guys. So we're all doing different takes on it. We didn't orchestrate any plan of what we're each going to do, but obviously we're all going to have different ideas for it. Mine, I'm doing a little bit of customizing, kind of giving it a whole new weapon, and yeah, just doing some kind of general customization here and there. And I've made up a whole backstory for this unit as well, and I'll share that all with you guys later, probably when it's all done. I'll probably just kind of keep that relatively under wraps until that time. But yeah, sorry that I've already done a fair amount of work off camera, but I was just kind of in the zone and just didn't really feel like dealing with the camera. I was just kind of busy working, but I'll share with you guys what I've done so far here to the mobile suit itself. As you can see, obviously, instead of using the spikes on the front and back of the shoulders, I've just replaced those with these parts of these are parts off of the HGUC Kshatriya repaired, just extra parts from that. So the hole was not quite the right size, so I just had to cut out the hole a little bit wider and then just drop these in. They fit pretty well, and just put a little super glue in there. You can see so that fogging there is just from the super glue, but that'll be fine. And get rid of that a little bit, and then when I go to paint it, it won't matter at all. Also added a little vent here to the side. I feel like I want to add more because there's still kind of a lot of blank space here in the side, but I think once it's painted, again, it's not really going to be all that noticeable because this part is supposed to be painted black. I'm not going to be sticking to these original colors, but I am still going to paint this inside part a dark color, so it's not going to be really obvious. So I've done 3 of those. One of them I haven't done yet on this side, so I'll just show you guys how I did that. As you can see here while we're on the backpack, I've just added a fuel tank to this side. At the moment, I'm kind of not sure. I was planning on just having just the one fuel tank on this side, and what I did with the swords is I just cut this peg off of one side because it's universal. It doesn't really matter left or right. So I just cut the peg off one side and then just glued that to the side of this one, and it doesn't look maybe the most pretty now, but again, once it's painted and panel line and all that, it's gonna look just fine. So basically this now can just fit into this side, and we can just put both of the sabers there on that side. Not really too sure if I'm going to keep that or just put another propellant tank on this side as well. I'm kind of on the fence at the moment. Yeah, not really too sure. Here at the waist section, you can see I've added a second vent here. This was just blank, and we had extra parts of this, so I just put that there, and I think it looks okay. I didn't want to put it there if it's gonna look really obvious that it's not supposed to be there, but I think it blends pretty well. So there's just the 2 vents there instead of just the one lower one. For the hands, I've got some 1/100 scale HD builder parts, Xeon type hands coming in that I'm going to be using instead of these, but I don't have those in quite yet at the moment. Those should be arriving hopefully maybe tomorrow. For the legs as well, at least for this part of the leg, I've just gone ahead and gotten rid of the kind of raised part that's where you're supposed to be plugging in the missile pod. I don't want to use that, so I've just once again used some parts here from the HGUC Kshatriya repaired. So these are basically not supposed to be beam cannons as they kind of are on the Kshatriya. They're just supposed to be verniers on this. Otherwise, nothing really changed here. The edge of this was kind of round, so I had to sand it and kind of file it flat so that this white part would fit flush on there. I was thinking about changing these thruster bells to some HD builder parts thruster bells, but I'm probably not going to. I think those are okay. So I think that's pretty much it. What I'm working on now as well is here on the back of the arm. Let me show you what this one is supposed to look like. It's supposed to just have these 2 small little missiles sticking out of there. But what you can see with the other side, what I've done is just cut the end of those off. What I'm going to do is just add a small rod of runner, just cut a small piece of runner that fits the size, and then just drill out the hole so it looks like two small little beam cannons. So it's just going to be beam cannons instead of missiles sticking out of the arms. And I think that's pretty much it in terms of modifications. So like those will be sticking out of there. So I just still need to do that. That's pretty much going to be it for the most part for any physical modifications, I think. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. But then I'm also working on its main weapon, which is this very big gun here. We can see this is that Kotobukiya strong rifle that I've been working on modifying to make this very big gun. So I've added the disc radome on here, just added a bunch of parts here and there, this whole thing on the side. Just added that. Over on this side, this is parts from the ZakuAurelius. Just added this small little tank there on the top. This flat part there on the top as well. Little like side vent there. Not quite done with this one still. Still going to be working on this a little bit. I think it's not quite to where I want it. But it's getting close. So this very big rifle you can see is going to stand quite tall there compared to the mobile suit. So that's pretty much it. I'm still working on the colors as well. I think I have a good idea of what I want to do for the color scheme for this, but not quite entirely sure yet. So still need to work out this other side of the leg here. I'm going to cut out this. So this is pretty easy, so I'm going to maybe show you this first. As usual, which is kind of my typical style, it seems like. For this, I'm not going to be doing it the most scientific way, but just kind of a way that's going to work crudely. And for me, so just that peg there in the middle, the easiest way is just going to be just cutting that out like that, just to get rid of as much of that as I can. And basically, I'm just using my hobby knife to just kind of cut out around the side there. So let me see here. I'm just going to cut that little guy out there. Now I know roughly how much I need to cut out, so I know kind of how careful I need to be is to not cut too much. Then I have a rounded file. I'm just going to go in and just file the edge as well once I know I'm getting close to where I need to be. So this is, I can tell you, this is by far the ugliest of the ones I've done so far, but I'm not doing it like actually close to my face, which would be convenient. Trying to do it in front of the camera is a little bit more tricky, but just trying to do this slightly quicker for you guys, but should be okay. This is the 4th time I've done this, so I have a pretty good idea what I need to work with here. So yeah, have you guys been checking out the other bros work in progress? I know Strider's been posting a few videos. The other guys I think maybe haven't posted their videos yet. Ed just recently got his kit, so I think he's maybe a little bit behind everyone else, but Ed usually works pretty quickly, so I'm sure he'll be caught up in no time. I know what some of the other guys' plans are for their kits, but I don't want to talk too much about that. I want to let them tell that to you guys themselves. It would help if I had that part. Here it is. So I know that it still needs a little bit more there. So yeah, hopefully if you haven't heard yet from the other guys what their plans are for the kits, you should be hearing from them soon. You can check out all their channels. Everyone's channels who's also included in this build off are going to be listed in the information down below. So check out their channels and subscribe to follow their progress. I don't know if we're gonna have I don't think we're gonna do any sort of like competition kind of thing about have you guys voting for who you think won the build off or anything. We're pretty much just doing just friendly build off. It's not really a competition at all. So friendly competition. We could do see whose video gets the most likes, but obviously channels with a lot more subscribers, we don't all have a similar amount of subscribers, so channels like mine or Jabman's, which are going to be much higher than Justin's or Simon's, are obviously going to have a little bit more of an advantage there. So there we go. That's fitting in there nicely now, so I'm just going to grab my super glue here. Could use just Tamiya cement, but this works fast. And I know it'll be really strong, so I won't have to worry at all about anything coming out. I just want to make sure that that is as close as I want to get it here. Just hold this here just for a second just to be safe. Make sure you put the cap on the super glue anytime you're not using it. Wouldn't want any of that to spill anywhere. So that should be good. There we go. That's done. For this side here, I've just got some putty on there because actually what I did first was I laid just a 0.5 millimeter layer of plot plate on top of this. I was gonna just put plot plate on top of that and then just fill the back in, just fill it in with putty, and then just sand it down so it's flat. So just putting plot plate on the top there just to make sure that this hole was covered and it was flat. Because if I just use putty, there's probably a very likely chance that the putty was gonna like sink in a little bit. So like after I sand it, it'll be flat, but then like you'll still be able to see the hole there. So just putting a piece of plot plate on top was just a way to make sure it'll be flat. But I decided rather than just keeping this flat, I wanted to add in these parts in here. So took off the plot plate, but I already had a whole bunch of Tamiya cement on there, so it was like part of this was a little bit like corroded, so it wasn't flat. So I had to fill that in with some putty. Now I can go in and get rid of that. So let me just file and sand this down a little bit, and then I'll come back. I don't want to do it here over all this stuff. It's going to be very messy, so hang on just a minute. And also, one thing first that I just want to point out to you guys, if any of you guys are going to be building this kit or planning on getting this kit and planning on working on it, one thing I just want to point out to you guys, just a little tip, is that there was a peg here, this small square peg that will fit into there when you put these together. After you put these together, it's extremely difficult to get that apart. That peg in there is super, super tight. So just before you put this together, just cut that peg off. You don't need it. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 other pegs here to hold this together. That's more than enough to hold these two parts together. So yeah, just when you get this blue part, just cut that peg off of there. Once that's sanded down pretty well, I'm not quite done yet, I know, but then to make this to fit in there, once again, just need to cut a little bit. In this case though, it fits almost perfectly. It just has these small little tabs here. You can see 2 of them I already cut off. These 2 other ones here, just need to slice those, and that'll be enough. Oops. That'll be enough so that this will fit in there, just like that. Alright, so here I have applied the small rods of a runner. Just cut off a couple of small pieces of runner, glue them on there. I think they're not totally perfectly entirely straight, but should be just fine. And then I just used a drill to just drill out the holes in there so they look like gun barrels. Going to just drop this into here. I think it's going to be kind of a tight fit. Once this is in here, probably just going to just keep it in there permanently though, so should be okay. I won't need to pull those out to paint them separately. I should be able to paint them fine while they're in there, because really it's going to be like the tip of the barrel is sticking out. So let's see. But there we go. Those are sitting a little bit lower than I'd like, so I don't know if it's hard to tell if they're bent. I don't think they're bent, but I think that's just kind of how they're staying in there. So might try to fix that a little bit, or maybe that'll be okay. But there we go. Attached onto the arm. Here we go. It's gonna look like that. I think kind of interesting, eh?